David Bowie is regarded as one of the greatest solo artists of all time. He started out in England in the late 1960s, around the time when the Beatles were starting to wind down. I feel what really separated him as an artist was not only his music, but also his stage presence. He was a very visual artist for a music artist especially, taking on different kinds of personas as time went on. It was very clear he was playing a character for different album rollouts and whatnot. Young Americans is an album that he released nearly 50 years ago. My experience with David Bowie is rather more that I sampled a lot of his hit singles as I was growing up. The only time I really listened to an album of his from start to finish was his final album titled Black Star. I may or may not have listened to a few of his other albums before then, but I distinctly remember listening to that album from start to finish because I was very struck by the music video for his song called Lazarus. I thought it was absolutely brilliant and very captivating. He really seemed like he was an artist through and through to the very end, and that music video struck me as his way of creatively saying goodbye to the world. I'm now remembering that after I listened to Black Star, I did backtrack and listen to another album of his called The Next Day. But as far as Young Americans go, I've never listened to it from start to finish before. Thanks for watching Flashback Friday. I'm your host Hank McRae of Without a Face. Okay, let's listen to this Bowie album. The first song is titled Young Americans. Of course, I have heard this song before. I listened to it about 50 times after I first heard it. Just finished listening to Young Americans. Yeah, I think this song, as I look at the track listing, this one and then the song called Fame, those are the only ones off this album that I have heard. But well, this album has 8 songs anyway, and I've already heard 2 of them a long time before this. Let me just say, Young Americans though is a brilliant song, of course. It's a masterpiece. He knew what he was doing when he said, I want to open the album with this song. Very catchy song. I love the lyrics, love the harmonies, love the saxophone on it. Just a lovely song. Alright, I'm gonna listen to the song called Win. Something that I remind myself and remind others every now and then is that music is a matter of taste. With that song Win, I was not too crazy about it. Now I can still appreciate it as maybe more of a mood type of song. You got to be in the mood for that type of song, and it really functions more as background music to me almost. Whereas Young Americans is more front and center, the song itself is the center of attention. I wouldn't want to listen to Win very much. Let's see what the next song brings us. It's called Fascination. This song keeps growing on me. I'm really digging it now. I feel like this should have been the follow-up after Young Americans. This should have been the second song. It's very suave and very funky. Also, in it being the second song, I just mean it had a faster tempo, you know, whereas When I felt it was a dramatic drop down in tempo. Also a bit of a disco element there too. Fascination is a great song. It started out with me not favouring it very much, but it kept growing and growing on me. The next song is called Right. Okay, now this is more of a soft mid-tempo song. There's a lot of call and response going on between him and the backup singers. Pretty fun. Right is a very impressive song. The band is very tight, the backup singers are tight with the band as well. I mentioned that call and response stuff going on a little earlier in the song. Also musically there's this tension built into it, I suppose maybe because it's really just alternating between 2 notes, 1 note and then the other note is like a half step down. I don't know what notes specifically those are. Obviously there are more than just those 2 notes being played, but those are really the root notes going on there. The next song is called Somebody Up There Likes Me. Sounds like Bowie is doing gospel here. I really like it. That's a really good song. A lot of fun and very upbeat. I feel like it went on a little bit too long for my taste, but who am I to say? The next song is called Across the Universe. I wonder if this is a cover of the Beatles song. Oh dear God, I don't think I like this. I'm gonna stick with it. Maybe I'll end up liking it. Yeah, I'm not really enjoying this. I'm just waiting for it to be over. Oh, I like this bit toward the end. When they keep repeating nothing's gonna change it. That's kind of different than the original version. I like the last 30-40 seconds of that cover there, but overall don't want to hear it ever again. The next song is called Can You Hear Me? This is really lovely. The chorus gets a little more soft and there's really beautiful harmonies. And then the verses are more upbeat mid-tempo. Very tasteful, brilliant ending to Can You Hear Me. I think that's a really great song, I loved it. And the final track on the album Young Americans is called Fame. Of course, this was a huge breakout hit song for him. Or shall we say it was yet another great hit song for him. Alright, that's it for Fame. I've heard that song plenty of times. It's a great song, very catchy, very funky, upbeat. I like it a lot. And it's a brilliant way to close an overall very good album. I'm not sure that I would listen to this album from start to finish ever again. Out of the 8 songs, I really did not enjoy one of them especially. The second song, When, could maybe grow on me as time goes on, I'm not sure. With that being said, the songs that I did enjoy, I think are really great songs, very good. A handful of the songs from this album are songs that any music artist would be delighted to have under their belt, so to speak. That concludes Flashback Friday. Stay tuned for Music Monday and next week's Throwback Thursday as well.